Welcome to the All Around Joe podcast, where we optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. On this edition of the All Around Joe podcast, I have the pleasure of interviewing Steve Odell and Robbie Page from Tenzo Tea. I was introduced to Tenzo Tea maybe about a month or maybe a little longer than that ago, and what it is, it's a matcha green tea. And I've always loved matcha green tea, so when I was introduced to them, I was like, yeah, for sure, I want to give this stuff a try. It sounds really cool. And I was blown away. In fact, so much so that the matcha green tea from Tenzo Tea is now my preferred pre-workout supplement. Not only that, there's a bunch of positive health benefits from drinking the matcha tea. So I highly recommend that you check out this podcast because Steve and Robbie are a couple of very interesting, smart entrepreneurs, and they get into why you would have the tea, what kind of workouts the tea would be good for, what they're into, and we even get to talk about a little bit of entrepreneurship, which I geek out on, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And I want to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Audible, and you can go to allaroundjoe.com/audible to get yourself a free audiobook. And if you hang around to the very end of the podcast, Steve and Robbie give their top 3 books that they recommend to the listeners. So if you hang around to the end, check out those books that they recommend and grab yourself a free Audible audiobook by going to allaroundjoe.com/audible. All right, guys, enjoy the interview with Steve and Robbie from Tenzo Tea. All right, Steve and Robbie, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to have you guys on the show because I've been trying your guys' product for a while. I've done some research on who you are. You sound like some pretty fun guys with, some synergies actually with business and things like that I'm working on. So I'm excited to chat with you, as well as you guys having really cool athletic careers, which is fun. And
Over here.
Yeah. So tell me about your guys' background, growing up, education, sports, etc. I want to hear more about what you guys are all about.
Yeah. So I grew up in upstate New York, in Rochester, New York specifically. Played volleyball my whole life. I was fortunate enough to go and play at UCLA for 4 years. Really loved my time there, and that's the first real taste of Los Angeles for me. After UCLA, I went and played a year professionally in Italy, indoor, one of the top leagues in the world, and then I played professionally 2 years in the sand on the AVP.
Cool.
And that takes us to 2016, right around the time when Steve and I really got together and started brainstorming amazing business ideas, and that's kind of in that time frame was where Tenzo was formed, and the really need for healthy energy and long-term focus kind of really came true to a lot of senses of our life. That's a pretty quick rundown. You want to do the same?
Yeah, so it's kind of a similar story. I played volleyball my whole life. I actually met Rob at a volleyball practice when I was 12 and he was 14. So for those who don't know, he's 7'1". But he was 6'4" as a 14-year-old with like this big 3-inch afro. So that's pretty funny. Just like a very strange sight. But then we played against each other on the court in Rochester, New York for a while. And then I followed him to UCLA 2 years after he went there. We played together for 2 years. I had another year there. And then I left school and moved in on Rob's couch. And that's when the magic of Tenzo Tea started.
Very cool. And were you guys at all entrepreneurial before you hooked up when you were younger? Or was it like, hey, we're friends, let's try and do something different with our lives?
No, we were honestly primarily volleyball players our whole life. Then when I was at UCLA after Rob left, I took an entrepreneurship class and then started a very simple company one summer, and it did pretty well. And then got really into it, and that's why I left school and moved on Rob's couch. And then he kind of caught the bug as well, and we were just kind of full-blown entrepreneurs from here on out.
Very cool. And how old are you guys now?
I'm 25, going on 26 in July.
I'm 23.
Okay, so you're pretty young guys here, which is fantastic. I banged around in entrepreneurship since I was probably 28 or so, but Man, I'm jealous of getting started early, because have you guys ever had jobs?
No,
Not
actually.
really. That's one of the funniest things is it's been a massive learning curve from day one, because I studied neuroscience, you studied history, so none of us are in business. We knew how to learn skills, but one of the biggest and really cool and challenging parts of running a business is management, and even like being like having never really had that experience working for a major company or a major like business. We're kind of learning as much as possible all like this fine line stuff of like they're having employees, proper communication, management, all those skills are like really come a lot from a team too. It's really helpful to be part of a team, but it's been a great process learning so far.
Yeah, that's super cool. I wish I would have tried that early on, because I call myself now unemployable, and it's because I had to go through that before actually figuring out that you could just become an entrepreneur. So I'm jealous of what you guys have done. It's really cool. So I know that most of my audience they geek out on the tea that you guys are selling and the athletic stuff. So we should probably talk more about that, but I'm excited about the entrepreneur stuff as well. So they're just going to have to deal with that a little bit. So, but that's all right. So you guys are volleyball players, and Rob, you're professional volleyball player now still. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I've been off the court for about a year, but
okay.
Yeah, could still be. Or go back and keep pursuing it someday, maybe.
Okay, cool. So, what do you guys do for workouts? Like, what is exciting to you about training, being healthy, that type of stuff?
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff. Interestingly enough, like we got into like a very strong routine at UCLA, and Rob, after when he was playing professionally, of like going to the gym and doing a lot of dynamic workouts, because volleyball is a very explosive sport. So we didn't really do any running or swimming or yoga and things like that. It was very focused on like how we can be very fast and efficient with our movements and strong. And so we did a lot of dynamic training and explosive movement stuff. But since then, and kind of like since we've adopted this Tenzo lifestyle, and it's a little bit more than just like working out. And so we've gotten into like marathons, and I'm currently training for a half Ironman. Rob's doing yoga a lot, and I do that too. But it's like we've kind of exploring a lot of different ways to work out and fuel your body, and just be healthy in general.
Yeah, I really think too, to add on that, like it's really interesting coming from I really love working for a purpose and doing something to achieve something or accomplish a goal, or like, so we've been trying, after our athletic careers are kind of in a pause or finished, we've been trying to find like competitive challenges. Like we ran the marathon in like 7 weeks, LA Marathon. That was brutal, but it was fun. We accomplished it, like done, next, So I think that for me, whenever I have something I'm really working towards, it makes everything fall into place, and it brings a motivation. It brings all of like what you need to get up every morning and hit the gym and work,
Yeah, for sure. So half Ironman right now for Steve, which is awesome. Do you know which one?
I don't know the exact name. I think it's in Santa Barbara in the middle of September.
Okay.
If you want to come down and join me, we have a pretty good crew of guys running it. So it's going to be really fun.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm actually imparting on living in a van for a year, so I'm not sure if I'll be in the area, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah.
Nice. What are you up to, Joe? What are your primary workout routines, and what have you been doing on a regular basis?
Yeah, I'm a competitive CrossFitter, I would say. So every year I try and excel at that as much as I can, do local competitions, and then take what I've learned in accelerating my own achievements and teaching them to other people. So mostly CrossFit, and as that kind of opens up, it becomes like, all right now, for example, I'm focusing a lot on weightlifting and Olympic lifting and trying to get stronger with that, with a secondary component of actual CrossFit and cardiovascular stuff. But every year I usually pick something crazy to do, kind of like what you guys have been doing with these goals. And, whether or not be, last year I did, it was like a part of the PCT, so the Pacific Crest Trail, from one ski resort to another in the, I guess, Seattle, Washington area. and it was 27 miles day 1, 28 miles day 2, and 18 miles day 3. So almost like a little more than 2 marathons, and then a little, more than a half marathon, 3 days in a row. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys' craziness.
Yeah.
That's brutal on the body. I've never experienced quite the pain that you feel after mile 20 of a marathon.
Nope.
Your body is just like no more, and you got to just finish. It was a pretty enlightening process, to say the least.
I love it.
What's the name of that challenge again?
The challenge? What challenge are you referring to?
The 3 days running.
I just came up with it myself. My girlfriend and I've got a crazy awesome girlfriend, and we got a couple of people to support us along the trail. So they brought in our food and tents, and then we were able to like put on light backpacks with hydration and whatnot, and just run as much as we could, and then hit the people up at night where they refuel us, and then we go off for the next day. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Super awesome.
I'll let you guys know what our next adventure is. Maybe you'll want to get in on it.
Yeah, anything that's like totally crazy.
Yeah, we could do a big event around it and like promote Tenzo. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Got that healthy energy for the run, Perfect.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so I think that's freaking awesome. And I'm the type of guy too that you invite me to something like that, I might just show up. So you never know. Depends on, like I said, where I'm at, because I'm kind of doing this interesting van trip coming up. But I want to hear more about you guys' interest in tea. I've taken tons of sports supplements. I've taken, the pre-workouts. I've, had all kinds of coffee and tried to time things so that they hit my body at the, perfect time so that I'm feeling great. And it sounds like you guys have appreciated those types of things as well. So give me some background on it. Like, why tea?
Yeah. So really good question. And like, basically, I'm sure you agree with this, but as athletes, energy was a massive part of our lives. And so specifically when we were in college, I would wake up, work out for an hour and a half with the team, and you'd have to attend like all your classes in a 3-hour period, head right into like pre-practice workouts and like stretching and kind of like doing stuff with trainers.
Yep.
And then you right into like a 3.5-hour practice. And then you have some sort of conditioning afterwards. And it was like, then you have to go home and do your homework. And so energy was just huge. We were like doing pre-workouts in the mornings, like chugging caffeine, 5 hours, coffees, cold brews, like Red Bull at night, like this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when we became entrepreneurs, it got kind of like even more exacerbated. And so we were just like chugging these drinks. And like, we both live under the philosophy that if you had a car and you only had one car your whole life, you'd treat that car really, really well. And that's kind of compared to your body, which is way more important than a car, right? And so you should really treat that as best you can.
Totally.
And so kind of like putting those two things in line, we knew that this energy wasn't going to go away. We weren't just suddenly going to not need energy anymore. We wanted to keep that a part of our lives, but we also wanted to treat that car really well. So Rob and I kind of went on this mission to find the healthiest form of energy on the planet. And after some searching, we found matcha green tea. And when we drank it, like we noticed no crashing, no jitters. We didn't have like upset stomachs. Kind of like a lot of these things were aligning. And it really changed our lives and our ability to work out and keep going after that. And we wanted to spread that mission and the same feeling that we got from drinking matcha to the rest of the world.
Cool. And what kind of process did you go through in figuring out that matcha green tea was the thing that you guys wanted to go after? Like how many different things did you try? Where did you have to go places to try them? Like, was there scientific research that you found that you're like, oh, this is interesting?
Yeah, I think a lot of the pieces kind of just like fell in place in a lot of ways. And it put a lot of pieces because it has zero sugar. It's just 100% green tea. Literally just ingesting the green tea plant. So instead of putting it in a green tea bag where you steep it and you lose most of the nutrients, with matcha you get to directly ingest it. So it's like 10 times the antioxidants, way more caffeine, a lot more L-theanine for that calm, focused energy that pairs well with caffeine. So I'm a science background, so of course I dug into all the scientific journals of the antioxidants and everything like that. And the antioxidants themselves are amazing for your brain and your heart and your metabolism boosting, your oral hygiene. It goes on and on. It's like antiviral, antibacterial, keeps you healthy for your immune system. We looked at all these things and we're like, first of all, is this real? Like, is this like a real thing? And when we tried it and figured out it was real, we're like, holy, oh my goodness, like what an opportunity here. And we found in the US, it was really hard to find quality matcha. Like, it's not a very well-known product. It's still very new. It has a 800-year tradition in Japan, but we realized in the US, there wasn't much of a market yet for it. It was pretty unknown, pretty new. There's some small niches that knew about it, but we're like, wow, what an opportunity to bring some amazing tradition of healthy, long-lasting energy to the United States and really brand it and show people how great it can be for their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And did you guys have to travel around to try different types of matcha, or like because there's different styles of matcha as well, right?
Yeah, this is honestly going to be a pretty classic answer, but it's like entrepreneurship 101. All we did was Google, and then we requested samples. And
okay.
It's not like, it wasn't anything crazy complex, but we evaluated them on like taste and color profile and graded the matcha. We have a big spreadsheet, and we got matcha from China and Taiwan and like literally all over the world. Tons from Japan, obviously. But it really just took a little bit of time. It took a few months for us to kind of pick that and get it started before we were really rolling. But it wasn't anything crazy. Since then, we have gone to Japan and visited the farms and learned about the processing and stuff. But when we first got started, it was kind of more of two guys on a mission to like make this happen because we wanted clean energy.
Yeah. First two all about get samples, get your friends to try it. Like, do they feel the same way that we do?
Yeah.
And as the confirmation came back, like, wow, this is great. We're like, okay, let's move. Let's go on this and take it to the next level.
Cool. And how is matcha different from a regular green tea?
It's a great question.
Yeah, so it is a good question. And this is honestly a common thing from a lot of people. But matcha is literally a powdered green tea. Okay. So it's a protein powder in a sense. Like if you can visualize a protein powder, that's what matcha looks like, except it's bright green. And typical green tea is bagged and then steeped. So you release like kind of the green tea through the bag, and then you drink it with a tea bag. It's very typical. But with matcha, you actually blend it directly with the water. You can put it in a smoothie, and then you get 5 to 10 times the amount of nutrients of a typical bagged green tea.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I always wonder that because I've loved matcha tea for a long time, but it seemed like it was harder to get, like you said, than the traditional green tea. But you gotta put it in the little ball, and you gotta dip it in the hot water, and then you gotta pull it out and.
Yeah. What you do with regular green tea, you're getting like runoff water. It's like thinking about it's like you're passing water past the green tea, getting like a little bit of runoff, but not all that real nutrients gets thrown away in the garbage when you throw your tea bag away. Other cool thing with matcha is there's a lot of grades and levels, all like wine, but the really nice matcha, they select the very tender baby leaves from the top of the plant, and they have a special process when they grow matcha where they cover all the plants in shade cloth, which reduces their light exposure, which starves the plant of light. So it boosts the chlorophyll levels and makes the plant like try and go into hyper mode to capture more sun. So what that does is it brings all the nutrients up from the roots and makes a really bright green, vivid green tea leaves and gives matcha its amazing color with all the chlorophyll and the detoxifying properties and antioxidants.
Wow, cool. I love the science stuff. So if you ever think something to share share it for sure. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, the history is amazing. They've had like an amazing culture and tradition that's just been over years. They perfected the process of matcha itself.
Very cool. And how did what's Tenzo Tea as the company that now has the matcha?
As the name you're saying?
The name, the company, like what does that encompass? We talked about the tea, what matcha is, and then Tenzo. Like why is it Tenzo? What's the name mean? What does the company represent? I know about it, but like tell everybody else. Like
that's a really great question, and I think it's one of the most important things that we'll answer today. And why Rob and I started this company, it wasn't to make $1 million. It wasn't to like fund college debt or any like lame reason. It was purely based on the belief that we wanted to have a large positive impact on the world around us. And so Tenzo kind of stands for that same mission in the sense that every time you drink a cup of matcha versus a cup of coffee, you're treating your body a little bit better. You're pushing yourself to do kind of what you know is right and truly good. We believe that really makes a difference. And so also like the name Tenzo, just to give a little bit of background, means heavenly monk in Japanese, and a Tenzo is the person that would bring food and drink to Buddhists in a Buddhist monastery. So the name has a little bit of history, but really kind of the company and what Rob and I believe, and as like our community grows, we want to exude that same belief, is to really just do good to the world, to treat your body the right way, and to live kind of a positive life that you know like you can live. And so we kind of just want to exude that mission to other people as well.
Very cool. Very cool. And did it take you a long time to figure out that name?
The name came
actually, it was pretty quick.
About 2 days. So we first found matcha, we tried it, and then I was laying in my bed on Google just scrolling through words and ideas, and I found the word Tenzo on like a Japanese website, and I was like, this is interesting, learn more about it. Tenzo Tea. Within 24 hours, we were like, boom, rolling.
Yeah.
Had the name, we were going.
I like it. I feel like as an entrepreneur, sometimes the name can get you stuck, but that's a great name. Love it.
Like, it's easy to spell. It's hard to mispronounce.
Yeah.
It's also 2 syllables, and so if you look at like some history of good companies, they all have that in common.
I like it. Very cool. What are the health benefits of the matcha green tea specifically? I know you mentioned like antioxidants and whatnot. What kind of stuff that people aren't quite as nerdy as us that would like to hear about the intricacies? What can they feel or benefits are they going to see?
Yeah. So in particular, matcha green tea has one super powerful antioxidant. It's called EGCG. It's in the catechin family of antioxidants. And this one in particular, there's a million studies on the internet, and it does everything. It's antiviral and antibacterial, so it'll help strengthen your immune system, but it actually like prevents bacteria and viruses from attaching to your cells and causing illness. It has like really interesting in that sense. It also has been shown to boost metabolism, which is really interesting. So compared to regular, like you boost, like I think it's like 25% boost metabolism. There was a study done in Japan among middle-aged women. It's a really interesting study. It also is very good for your brain health. So there's been studies that show that it reduces the risk of Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. And just the longevity of your brain, reducing those free radicals that cause harm to your neurons and everything that's happening synaptically. We think there's more. Keeps going and going. Oral hygiene wise, so like for one other cool thing, fun fact. So coffee actually works in a negative way for coffee breath's a real thing. It's a real thing. So there's volatile sulfur compounds in your mouth that are caused from pockets of bacteria that form, and coffee will help those bacteria grow. But matcha is antibacterial properties will fight those volatile sulfur compounds in your mouth, which will reduce your bad breath. That gets really good for your teeth, for your gums, for your oral hygiene. It's also matcha is for your skin. So applying face masks is really good for wrinkles and skin complexion, acne. Like these are the things I was saying before. When we first started reading about matcha, we're like, no way, this is too unreal. It's too good, you know. Tea is just like that. It's an amazing superfood that the benefits go on and on. That's why like there's a lot of studies too that just show the life expectancy in Japan is just far superior to most of the world, and I think a lot of it is due to the green tea consumption.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you believe that it's right for every consumer?
Yeah.
Or is there a target market?
There are some, like if you're pregnant, caffeine is not necessarily the best thing necessarily. Same if you're young, it depends on how you want to raise your children with caffeine. But besides the caffeine portion, my grandma, she claims that she hasn't been sick in 10 months. She started drinking matcha every day. So she loves it. So she's all about it. It's very good for a large population. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's good for everyone, honestly. If you look at kind of the U.S., there's 20,000 independent coffee shops. There's 10,000 Starbucks, 5,000 other coffee shops, and then like 5 Hour Energy and Red Bull is like $100 billion market. So, in our opinion, the world loves energy, and it's a very key part of a lot of people's lives. And if you can give it to them in an easy to drink and very healthy way, then why not?
Sure. And then from an entrepreneurial or business standpoint, who do you guys target market, right? Because at least with me, with all my business has been like, yeah, I want to sell it to everybody. But when you learn about marketing it to everybody is a problem. So
that's one of the interesting parts with Tenzo when we started, because you can sell matcha to anyone and everywhere, whether it's coffee shops, juice bars. You make matcha pies, matcha ice cream, matcha chocolate. So like, that's a massive thing. We've been really targeting, one of our major audiences starting off has been like middle-aged women, like 25 to 50-year-old women looking for healthy alternatives to energy, maybe want to stop their coffee addiction. We're also really working into the male performance-based, kind of like our demographic. We really thought of the company because we loved it. So we kind of came back to that. We're like, wait a minute, let's market to ourselves, like people that are young, inspiring entrepreneurs, athletes, who really want to make the most of their day and be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, totally. And that's, well, obviously we connected and I've been taking it as a pre-workout for myself and I've loved it. I was
love it.
I loved it. I was skeptical at first. I've always loved the matcha as an energy source. So when you guys connected with me, I was like, this is interesting. I know I already like that style of tea. And I wasn't expecting it to be as good a pre-workout as it was, to be honest with you. And it's great as a pre-workout.
It's amazing. It's literally like, you take these shots, like we call it, it's called a koicha. The Japanese word for it just means matcha shot.
Okay.
So literally, we have like one serving in 3 ounces of water and just shoot it. And like we all did it before the LA Marathon. Every time we work out, we just have matcha shots.
Very cool. And as like if we're talking performance, do you guys have anything else to add to that? Like if someone's listening to this or watching this and they're like, yeah, that's how I would want to take it. I'm a CrossFitter or a marathoner or triathlete, timing or amount of times they can take it. What do you got?
Yeah. So I personally, I think I speak for the team, have not found a upper limit for matcha consumption in 1 day. I don't think there's anything with that. And I think the first time you're doing it, you should definitely be cautious because you don't want to like have too much caffeine just for your body's sake. But you never get jitters and you don't crash. So like it's really just about what you're consuming normally or daily and your body's used to that. And then if you want to up it, you can always add an extra scoop. The easiest pre-workout though is just mixing it with a few ounces of water or putting it in a water bottle and shaking it up and drinking it while you go.
Yeah, I think performance-wise, like the protein shake bottles are like a perfect matcha making tool. We were actually in Japan sitting with a tea master. He made us a ceremonial cup of matcha with a whisk, and then he goes, would you like to try some iced matcha? We're like, yeah, sure. He pulls out an American mini blender bottle, fills it with room temperature water, scoops matcha in, shakes it up, pours it over ice. So it's very simple, like, and I think the blender bottles with little the metal ball, it's a great way to mix it. I would recommend a couple things. For one, like matcha is just concentration of matcha with water. So if you want a big energy boost, use a lot of matcha. If you want a little pick me up, do like a half a teaspoon, So it's kind of up to your discretion on how much energy or boost you really want. Also, eat some food before you do a big thing of matcha because it can be a little harsh on your stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The more matcha you have, the more food you should eat prior. I've definitely experienced the adverse side effects there. And I haven't nothing crazy's happened, but
it's just a lot of green tea in your stomach. If you eat a lot, this guy makes a pretty crazy matcha shot, just like with heavy matcha shots. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. And how much? Okay, so you said, let's say somebody's start off with like a half teaspoon, and then what did you say is a good serving for you? I think I've been doing one teaspoon, and that's been good. But I've been wondering, should I if I got a really hard workout, should I go for a a teaspoon and a half.
Yeah. So I think I wouldn't do anything more than like 3 teaspoons. That'd be like my max.
Okay.
But that'd only be for like if I'm doing like a workout over a period of multiple hours.
Yeah.
So like you're going to the beach, you're gonna go maybe like go for a run, then go surfing, or you're doing like a triathlon training or something like that. Then that's really okay. But if you're doing like an hour workout, a teaspoon should be good. It's not nothing crazy. I mean, I think it all goes back to what your body is used to, and a lot of like any advice I would give is really it's all individualized, and so it's hard to say like here's a blanket statement that'll be perfect for everyone.
For sure. And quick question. So when I've been looking at the package, it said to put it in 2 ounces of hot water. Is the hot water necessary or not?
Not always. It's recommended, but you can make it in cold water or lukewarm water just fine. You may have to shake it up a little bit more because the hot water kind of helps with the dissolving. But
another fun fact too: mixing matcha or mixing Tenzo tea in cold water makes a much smoother flavor. Hot water brings out the catechin antioxidants, which bring around a bitter taste. So if you make it cold, it'll be smoother and a little more refreshing. It'll actually have a different flavor profile than when you make it hot.
Interesting. Is there any health benefit to the hot versus the cold?
To our knowledge, it's all the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because you still consume the whole leaf, so it's not like anything's materially changing with what you're actually doing with your body. Just like some flavor comes out with heat.
We'll say though, if you're using hot water, make sure it has to be below boiling because boiling water will burn the delicate leaves. So you want to have it hot, not boiling is really, really cool.
Okay.
If it's super scalding hot, you can taste like a pretty funky flavor.
Those taste burnt.
Yeah,
you don't want
we're actually updating our new packaging right now. I'm really trying to specify and like really make that clear because it's kind of hard to portray on a small surface, you know, like exactly all of that.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. So awesome. Where do you guys see Tenzo Tea headed in the next few years? Like what's the vision?
Well, I think this is like obviously really hard to say as a startup.
Sure.
And so the truthful answer is that we are going to keep growing that mission to positively impact the world. Right now we're doing like 20,000 cups a day in LA. And we sell a pretty good amount online. The 20,000 through our wholesale locations. And for the next few months, we focus on LA and how we can support that and grow our e-commerce game. Mm-hmm. But we want to keep expanding and really like develop new product lines with matcha and really just like increase the benefit for the people. I don't want to say like we're going to kill Red Bull or kill coffee, but we might. So I think it just all goes back to that end goal, and if we really feel aligned with that and that our decision making is good, then that's all we can ask for.
I think that the upside is really, really powerful. So especially in the U.S. and California, across the whole country, people are moving in a healthier direction for all of their food and drink and choices, really. So we see matcha being a much better alternative to a lot of these other like pre-workouts. They're really bad for your heart and like your body and your health and like all these chemicals and sugars and compounds. And we really just feel that like a really simple Tenzo tea, there's no sugar, it's just pure matcha, green tea leaves. It's just a really good replacement for a lot of those unhealthy energies. We feel like can have a large impact on the world and the country.
Yeah.
Start here and hopefully move out, you know?
Yeah. What kind of other products? I'm just curious, like blends or I don't know.
Yeah,
this is highly in discussion right now.
Yeah, we're highly debated, and also like we can't really say this publicly because we have competitors too. So gotta.
Sure.
Coca-Cola or Starbucks could just like spend millions of dollars and make these, so we don't want to like give them our thinking. But there's different flavors, different ways to drink it to make it easier and more affordable. That's kind of like a big part of our game too. Is we don't want to sell like an extremely expensive ceremonial grade matcha that no one can afford or use. It's really important to like get the price down as much as we possibly can, and so we can sell it to more people and make it available. But yeah, so different ways to do that through like drinks or cookies or ice cream. I'm a big fan of ice cream. Rob also loves sweets.
I do love sweets.
So it'd be cool if you could make like a sugar-free matcha flavored ice cream or something like that. That's healthy, but also like tastes great.
Okay, cool. Very cool. And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, how you guys, what's the growth path or the growth strategy? You know, like, are you contacting these coffee shops to get them into there? Are you, I don't know, like if there's somebody listening here that's running a small space in Seattle and they're like, wow, this is super cool. Is that who you're targeting, or is there a bigger play, or what are you guys doing?
Yeah, so that is also a really great question. And that's kind of evolved over time too. And so we've been very dynamic with our approach, but like very resolute in our goal. And so we used to literally, Rob and I would like go on two different sides of like a main street and like walk down and like pitch every available business that could sell our product.
Nice.
You know? And then like we got one, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's how it slowly expanded. And then we did that well and showed proof of concept and good numbers and a lot of sales. Then we grew to a few more, and we stay hyper local every time. And so we started in Long Beach and had like 10 to 20 locations there. We moved up to LA. Now we have about 150. And again, 95% of those are in LA. And so we're building up network effects and kind of our brand recognition here and things like that. And now it's a little bit more blended with inbound leads, and people kind of know who we are. And so we had a good mix there. And eventually we'll move up into mainly distributors and selling through distributors, and kind of scaling that out. But we work with a lot of independent coffee shops. That's kind of our bread and butter. Like,
It's really health-oriented premium coffee shops, like people that really love to get quality products, health-focused. We fit well with those kind of.
Yeah, but if you own an independent coffee shop and you're listening to this, definitely contact us because we can help you sell more.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the product is great. And not only that, from like the end consumer, I'm surprised that it's affordable as well. So I think you guys have done a great job with that. Because I was looking to go and get a subscription of it for myself. And I'm like, hey, this stuff it's not going to break my bank. And it's actually going to be cheaper than any kind of like coffee habit that I had, you know? So,
so our 30-gram bag's like $21.99, and it's 30 servings, so less than $1 a serving. It's like comparable to workouts. It's way less than coffee at Starbucks. You know, it's a good deal.
Yeah, heck yeah. So because I love to ask this question, because you guys are smart people and entrepreneurs and whatnot, 3 books that you would recommend. It could be entrepreneur, could be athletic, could be fiction. I don't care. What are your top 3?
All right, I got this. Let's start it off. Book number 1, one of my favorite books on the planet, is called When I Stop Talking, You'll Know I'm Dead by Jerry Weintraub.
Okay.
He was an amazingly successful producer, manager in Hollywood. He worked with a ton of major clients and acts. And what the book's all about is just like making things happen.
Cool.
Like being a move maker, putting people in the right places to be successful, and just like using me. Gotta read that book. It's awesome. A lot of great stories in there. Second book I really like is called Hey Whipple, Squeeze This. It's a content writing book. It's about copy, marketing, advertising, creating compelling ideas, how to iterate, how to brainstorm.
Cool.
Really well written, well worded. And a third one I'd say is called Relentless by Tim Grover. You might have heard of this one. Love that book. It's an athletic mindset book. How to get in the zone, how to have your focus, how to be your best, what it takes to really compete at a high level and just dominate. I love the mindset in that book. It's awesome.
Awesome. Love it. And how about you, Steve?
Yeah, so I would have to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
I would recommend everybody on planet Earth read this book called The Alchemist. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a beautiful book, and I think the number one lesson there is to follow your heart. And sometimes everyone around you, even people really close to you, may be saying like, that's crazy. But I think that if you follow your heart, you'll kind of unlock these series of rewards that most people who don't do that never get the opportunity or chance to even experience that. So definitely that one. I also love the book Ender's Game. It's about, have you heard of it? Ender's Game?
I've heard of it, but I haven't read that one yet. Yeah.
It's like a book that most people read in like 8th grade. But I read it in like 6th grade, and it's kind of like been this really weird influence on my life. And it's about this really smart kid, and he's like an amazing leader, and one of the powerful examples that the book gives, outside of being really well written, is just like how you can lead by example.
Okay.
There's another example in the book, but it kind of leads to my third favorite, which is Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb. And that is really about putting yourself in stressful situations, in non-terminal stressful situations, allowing a period of recovery, and then you eventually grow from the stress. And it's like an easy example is like lifting weights. When you try to lift more than you think you can, maybe really, really hard, but after you do it, have like a protein shake, a good night's sleep, you come back the next day and you go and you can lift that weight. And then that kind of keeps going up and you lift more and more and more. And there's a lot of examples where that's really powerful. So yeah, those are my three.
So this give you a good example of anti-fragility. Steve's going for a 120-hour work week this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm actually pretty fatigued right now, and I slept longer than I should have last night. But I've been tracking my hours, and if I'm awake, I'm like 100% thinking about Tenzo Tea or how I can improve it, or like literally just like working. It's got to be productive time too. So like
17-hour days. That doesn't make you stronger. I don't know what.
Yeah. Holy crap! So how much tea are you consuming?
I'd rather not disclose that.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Not like nothing crazy. Just probably like 3 or 4 matchas a day, like a normal serving size. It's not like I'm pounding on like crazy matcha.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's all good. I get it. Are there any questions that I haven't asked you that I should have that you think are relevant to the listeners?
I think one good one is like, I don't know if it's a question, but it's something that I like always try to voice. And it's like, and you definitely get this as an entrepreneur, but like for anyone who's starting something new or is like debating whether or not they should follow their heart, I think they should. And when I think that they start, they should never give up. And like Rob and I have found that through like this journey of ours, that persistence is so important. And it's really like the deciding factor between people that achieve their goals and people that don't. And it's never like optional. It's like, it is always optional. It's a choice that everyone has, whether they want to keep going, or they want to quit. And the people that are successful and like do a 30-day workout challenge, complete a marathon, do this absolutely crazy challenge with your girlfriend to run like 3 marathons in 3 days is nuts, But like, there's something about you that when your mind told you to quit 10,000 times, you kept going. And that's like, I cannot stress how important that is, like in life and as individuals.
Very cool. Love it. And how can people find out more about you guys? How can they get the product? What do you want to promote? Go for it.
Yeah, check us out online at tenzotea.com. We sell our organic ceremonial matcha there. We also have a bunch of boxes, like a starter box, an active box with an awesome Tenzo shaker bottle, and a deluxe box with the whole combined kits. Instagram is at Tenzo Tea. We're building a community there, which has been great. Shows you a lot about LA and the experience and the whole matcha life that we're building out here.
Also, if you want to follow Rob Page on Instagram, at Robbie Page.
So delicious.
Professional athlete over here. No, yeah. Just check out our website though, and if you guys have any questions, feel free. You can email us or hit us up, and we're very responsive to anyone who's trying to live an active, healthy lifestyle. We kind of love that spirit. So we're building a community. So we're glad to have you a part of that, and thanks.
Cool. Yeah, guys, I really appreciate it. I've loved the product, and I think that everybody listening should give it a shot if they have any, caffeine in their life at all. So
awesome.
Good stuff.
Thanks so much. It's been
cool.
Amazing, Joe.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us. Cheers.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. That was my interview with Steve Odell and Robbie Page of Tenzo Tea. I highly recommend that you check out Tenzo Tea. Get yourself a bag at tenzotea.com. That's TenzoTea.com. And if you'd like to pick up one of those books that they recommended on me, go to allaroundjoe.com/audible, and you can get yourself one of the books that Steve or Robbie mentioned. I know I'm going to pick up a couple of them because there was a few on that list that I have not read yet. So check them out, allaroundjoe.com/audible to get yourself that free book. the All Around Joe podcast, where we optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all around self-improvement junkie. I will see you on the next podcast.